Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Trust and Believe. I'm your host, Shaun T. I appreciate you being here. Today, we are going to talk about choosing your heart. Raise your hand, not if you're driving, but raise your hand if you know that you've had moments in your life where it's been really hard. Well, today, I'm going to help you choose your heart so that you can choose a path to happiness. And I have some great analogies that you may laugh at, but you will all relate to. Get ready to trust and believe.
Somebody say hell yeah!
What's up?
He's better than Oprah.
Come on, y'all. This is Shaun T, and it's time to trust and believe. First of all, I just want to say thank you all so much for listening to Trust and Believe, and I would love for you to subscribe, especially if you haven't subscribed to this podcast yet, and also please leave a review. I think that one of the greatest things to do in the morning is to go to the reviews and read them, hear some of the amazing things that you're learning from this podcast, and I've heard a lot of people just talk about, you know what, I love turning on the podcast because Shaun T just talks to me and it feels like I'm talking to him on the phone or something. And I love doing it. So I would love to see what you have to say. And also, please share it with people. I think that a lot of people are going through life, and sometimes, like we're going to talk about today, life gets hard and they just need that one voice to help them understand that life is hard, but it also can have really great times, and you can also choose your heart. And in addition to choosing your heart, which you'll learn about today, you can also learn how to be happy even when you're going through a tough time, or at least learn how to make your life just a little bit happier. So this actually makes me want to start off this podcast with a question, really. And at what point in your life has anyone ever told you that life is easy? Life is so easy, it's so grand. Life goes by like you're on vacation all the time. I don't think that that's ever happened. And honestly, I can tell you, and you probably experience the same thing, the majority of people that we talk to on the phone, or even if you haven't talked to a friend in a while and you say, hey, what's up? How are you doing? One of the first things that they say, at least within the first 3 things that they tell you, is something tough that either has happened or something tough that's going on in their life right now. Let's take this for instance. Even someone who is celebrating, having a child, right? A woman who is pregnant and there's this beautiful thing about to happen to their life. A lot of times they tell you, my feet are swollen, I'm on bed rest, I'm not eating, I'm not sleeping well. And even in the most beautiful times in your life, things can be hard, right? So I think the first thing that's really important for you to know when we talk about choosing our heart today is to understand that to get to greatness, you have to go through struggle. And while you've heard that a lot of times, I don't think that people actually have placed that as a part of their path, right? It is a part of the path. Do you think that I've shot over, I would say, 500 workout videos or more without having a really, really tough time during some of those shoots? No, but the end result is great because it helps change people's lives. So I just want you to really think about and start to really accept the fact that as you're going through life, hurdles happen. We have to jump over them. But let's get into the nitty-gritty of choosing your heart. It's hard to save money and to be a really intelligent spender. It's hard to be in debt or to be stressed about money. It's hard to be a really great parent, a really great mom, dad, or guardian. It's hard to be in a conflicted household, right? You have to choose your heart, but most importantly, you have to choose the path to happiness for you. I'm just going to give you an analogy because I think this will be really beneficial in your ability to understand what we're about to talk about. Would you rather not have a job and struggle with trying to make ends meet? Or would you rather have a job that's not making you that happy, but you can also try to learn how to thrive through? Right? It's like choosing your heart. Now, there might be some people out there that roll their eyes and they're like, oh, well, I'd rather not have this job. But I want you to think about something. And I've said this before to people. Even when you're on your way out from a job that you don't like, you can make it the best that you can make it. You can always leave a job and truly make an impact as you're walking out of the door. Wouldn't you rather have a boss give you a recommendation because even though they knew you wanted to move on with your life and do something different, you still gave as much as you could to that situation? Now, let's flip the script and go to people who don't have a job. Let's say you're like, I'd rather not have that job. It's a toxic environment, and I know it's going to be really hard not to have a job. Okay, well, outside of financial gain that you're losing out on by not having a job, you probably have the ability to work on something new. I remember being a young person, and when I say young, I mean like 25, because I'm almost 43 now. But I remember being a young person and knowing so many people went back to school. And I would always be like, well, why would you go back to college? I'm like, there's no way I would sit in a classroom again. That would seem so difficult. But to the person on the other side of 40 or 50 that wants to do something different in their life, going back to school is hard, but it's also going to give them a sense of joy, a sense of accomplishment. And maybe they only got the degree that they got, or they became a doctor or lawyer or manager of a restaurant because their parents were in business or their parents were doctors, right? So a lot of times people choose a path because other people want them to do that, and they were never happy. So if you think about the fact right now that you don't have a job, right? And you choose that hard. Okay, so how are we going to make that the best that we can make it? There are obviously a lot of educational opportunities out there for school, but there's also a lot of courses. You know, my friend Shalene Johnson offers Marketing Impact Academy, and it's really great for people who are not happy with what they do in their job, but they choose the path of going through her program because they know they have an idea to be an entrepreneur and they want to create something great. And so that's in terms of like your life struggle in terms of work. But let's talk about fitness, because y'all know I love fitness and I know about fitness more than anything. And this probably is going to ruffle some people's feathers the wrong way, but I'm just saying, get ready to fly, because you will spread your wings and fly after you really listen to what I have to say here. Would you rather be super unhealthy, sitting on the couch, complaining that you ain't doing anything, complaining about the weight you're gaining, complaining about the chips you ate after you ate them, complaining about the ice cream you ate after you ate them? Now, notice I said complaining about after, not celebrating eating it. You're complaining. You went out to dinner with your friends and you're complaining that all of them are doing really great in the area of their life for their fitness and they have control over their food and they have a good relationship, but you complain after every meal. You complain when you don't work out. You roll your eyes at your friends that do work out, right? Or the flip side of that is you're doing a workout that you hate. You're like, this workout is so hard. Like, I can't do Insanity. I can't do Max 30. I can't do whatever the workout is, right? I'm explaining to you the two different hard points. You can have a hard time by not doing anything at all, or you can have a hard time complaining about trying to get the best result you can get in your fitness. Both sides of it is hard. You have to choose your heart. Let's take something like Let's Get Up. Let's Get Up is super fun. It's energetic. You're dancing, but there will be people complaining like, well, I can't pick up the choreography as quick as everybody else. Or there will be people complaining like, well, I don't have my nutrition on point. It's going to be hard, y'all. It's going to be hard. Do you think that I create these workouts I create them so that it's joyful and you do get up and you do have a good time. But I also know that there are points in a workout where your legs are going to be burning like hell. I also know there are going to be points in a workout, there are going to be some exercises in an insanity section that you don't want to do. But would you rather be in a place where you are doing the best you can do and working on yourself and having chose a workout that's going to give you joy? Or would you rather be sitting on the couch eating the chips and complaining about it, eating the ice cream and complaining about it, and also not working out at all. Right? Now, let's say you say, I'd rather not work out at all. Okay, so how do we get through that? There are some people out there who would rather not work out. They absolutely despise it. But that doesn't mean that they can't find a healthier lifestyle in terms of what they put in their body, right? Someone asked me actually yesterday, they said, what's more important, the workout or your nutrition? And I'm like, that's not up to me. That has nothing to do with me. I have no business answering that question for you. And they were like, oh my goodness. I'm like, what is your goal? There are some people out there who are bodybuilders and their biggest thing is to lift heavy weight. There are some people out there who are runners. Their thing is to run as far as they can. A bodybuilder is going to lift and eat. And sometimes they don't even eat the best foods. They just eat to gain weight because they have to go to a point where they want to cut. A person who runs eats the type of food that's going to give them energy, but they have to stay lean, right? So even in fitness, in that realm of fitness, they have to choose what's going to be the path that's best for them. But I can promise you, you can talk to anyone that's successful and has been successful in a fitness journey, and each person is going to say, this is really tough. Now, I do want to go back for a second and really focus on a person who does not like working out, because one thing that I hate are fitness bullies. People that's like, you have to work out. You have to do this. I have this friend, Steve, right? Let me tell you about Steve. I love Steve. Steve is funny. He is literally like, if there was a stand-up comedian, he would be my stand-up comedian. I don't know how many people think he's funny. I really don't know. I don't know if people laugh at his jokes, but I do. He can walk into a room and I'm literally laughing at him, right? And I also call him Hair because he has the most amazing hair. Now, Steve, I don't know what Steve is going to think about what I'm about to say, but there was one point during the pandemic, Steve was like, I don't like working out. I'm like, cool. Okay, well, what can you give me to work out? Like, what do you want to do? And he's like, I can work out 3 days a week. And he started working out. But when he wasn't working out, he wasn't happy when he wasn't working out. And when he was working out every day and doing insanity, he's completed insanity. But he loves Shaun T, but I think he hates doing insanity, right? So I'm like, okay, let's come up with something that you want to do. And he said he was going to work out 3 days a week. Now, I haven't asked Steve if he was still working out or not. That's not the point here. I'm not going to shade him if he's listening to this. I'm just going to say, I gave Steve an option. Well, instead of like working out every day and hating doing insanity, then because Steve likes to eat. Let me tell y'all, Steve likes to eat. He's from Staten Island, and those Staten Island people, they love to eat. And I'm not trying to take that away, but if you want to not feel bad about eating, the best thing to do is to at least work out a few times a week to kind of balance that out. If you're somebody out there that does not like to work out, and there'll be a lot of people that disagree with me right here, and I'm completely 100% fine with people disagreeing with me. There are people out there who talk about gut health, and I do too, and I think it's very important. But there are people out there who are like, I want to work out, but I really love food. Like, food is part of my culture. I want the pizza. I want it all. And I say, okay, well, you have to choose your hard, right? If you are a person that's like, if you're complaining about what you're eating and you're not working out, then that doesn't make sense. But if you find that fact that you can work out a few days a week so that you can have fun eating and you can balance it out and you believe in calories in, calories out, then freaking do it. It's your life. There are some people out there that will be like, Shaun T, you are international fitness, whatever, and you should be telling people they have to eat healthy. Nope, that's not my job. Contrary to popular belief, it is literally not my job to tell you that you have to do anything. It is my job to do a couple of things. One, and the most important thing, is to help you live your best life and trust and believe that what you're doing is the life path that you want to lead. The other thing that is my job is to lead by example, to not talk, but do something else. Another part of my job is to bring joy to your life. My job, even though I keep a six-pack most of the time because, there's some days where I'm like, it ain't even happening. And I'm completely fine with that. Like Sunday, I'm going to go back to that. Sunday night, Scott was like, what do you want to have? And I'm like, I know my stomach's going to hurt. I know I'm going to feel like crap and bloated the next day, but I literally need pizza. I said, Scott, I need pizza. This was not a want. This was not a want. I said, Scott, I need pizza. He was like, are you really going? He's like, the cheese is going to bother you and you're going to feel bloated because of the carbs. And I said, but you know what? If I don't eat this, it has nothing to do with gut health. I was like, if I don't eat this, I am literally giving in to the fact that I don't want to enjoy pizza ever again. And I was like, I'm just not doing that. It only happens like once every 6 months, or probably maybe twice a year that I actually eat full on pizza without the gluten-free and all the cauliflower crust bullshit. You know what I mean? Sometimes I just want the pizza. And so I ate the pizza. And the next day I was like, oh my goodness. I didn't say, why did I eat the pizza for calories? I was like, oh my gosh, I feel bloated. In a minute I said to Scott, oh my gosh, I feel like this. I literally looked in the mirror because I was talking to him. He was sitting in a chair and I looked in the mirror and I was like, you ate it. And I immediately switched my mindset to be like, well, you chose what hard you wanted. It would have either been really hard for the next 12 hours to be like, man, I can't believe I didn't eat that pizza. It was like one day of my life. Or I'm saying, okay, I feel a little bloated. Let me work out and figure this out and feel good. Let me tell you, after my Let's Get Up workout and after a bout of tennis, I felt absolutely great. And I was like, thank goodness I ate that pizza. I chose my hard, right? But the thing is, I have learned to not let it ruin my day or ruin my life. It ruined a moment, and then I had to pull myself together. But anyway, just kind of going back to the person just talking about food, the person that chooses to literally say, I just need to eat and have fun. Guess what? Balance it out. Don't ever deprive yourself. But I will tell you that doing 3 days a week of 30 to 45 minutes of exercise will help you feel better about the balance. And I think that's what choosing your heart is really about. It's about, how am I going to balance my lifestyle while continuing to enjoy what I'm doing? Now, the last choose your heart that I'm going to talk about will be a little bit deeper. And this has to do with mental health. And when I say mental health, it has to deal with your own mental health, your past struggles, maybe relationships, good relationships, bad relationships you've had with people, and most importantly, therapy, which is what I love to talk about. I love, there's Talkspace, there's all these amazing therapy solutions that we have that you can do online. But there are a lot of people out there, and my mother-in-law listens to this podcast. So, Mom, if you hear this, I'm just using you as an example, and I love you. Okay. Years ago, Scott and I were sitting down with his parents. We were really close to them, and we were having a really intense discussion, y'all, just about all of our past. And obviously they're much older than us, but what the common denominator was at the table is that everyone had baggage about their life. And Scott and I were really kind of pushing, the therapy route, because Scott went to therapy for 6 years and me about the same amount, meaning like super consistently, to get over things that happen in our life. And so we were trying to tell his mom, like, you need to go to therapy. And her immediate response to us was, I don't want to bring up that pain again. Like, I don't want to live through it. And so this is when it really got tough. I was like, but you're living in it now. You're literally still experiencing the pain. And so, and I don't think the conversation was like, it wasn't a fun conversation, because people who are not really interested yet in going to therapy don't actually want to hear anything about it. They try to push it down, not really realizing that the things that you push down are still going to seep out in your life. So here's the choose hard when it comes to your mental health. Do you want to suppress it and have moments where you'll have lots of moments where you're not thinking about the thing that you're suppressing, but it's always going to be there and it's going to come up like a volcano in certain points in your life, in certain situations? Or would you rather go to therapy, spend time letting it out, feeling it out, understanding where it's coming from so that you can eventually heal from it, right? So for a lot of people out there who are afraid to go to therapy, I'm not telling you, some people are completely fine with suppressing it, right? I'm just letting you know that yes, you will have long, joyful moments if you suppress something, but it's still going to be there and it's never going to be fixed. or you go through the really tough time of sitting in a therapist's office and admitting either shame or guilt or sadness, because a lot of people out there fake happy. They just do. You see them posting on social media, every picture's, you know what I mean? And that's why I love having this podcast, because social media is a lot of snapshots. But when you talk to me on here, you get the real down and dirty things that goes on behind the scenes. But, you know, it's really important for you to choose, like, what heart do you want? The heart of suppressing your mental health struggles and your past struggles is the fact that it's always going to be there. But you can somehow kind of live around it. The other part is, oh my goodness, I actually have to face this. I have to admit what I've been hiding. I have to admit that what happened to me. I have to admit what I did. But then you know what it is, you know where to place it, and you move on. Again, I'm trying to explain this and choosing your heart in a way where I'm not judging anything that you do. You know, but you have to decide which is going to be the best path so that you can be as happy as you can be. One of the things that I'll say, and this is extremely important, is every single day that I wake up, I try to focus on, okay, I know this day is going to be tough because I have a lot of things to do. I have to put my mindset in a place of, okay, how am I going to get through this? And how do I choose my heart every single day? And maybe you can use some of these tactics that I'm about to give you to really help you choose the best heart, right? When I wake up, the first thing that I say is, how do I want my day to end? Now, it is impossible for me to predict what's going to happen that day or predict conversations that are going to come my way. But what I can do is to decide that the choices that I'm going to make are going to help me go to bed at the end of the day in a happier space and feel really great about the hurdles that I've overcome. The other thing that I do, and we're going to talk about food first because we talked about food. The other thing that I do is I start my day off doing the right thing when it comes to food. There used to be times where I'm like, I'm not drinking coffee. I'm not drinking this. I'm not putting sugar in my coffee. And you know what? Every day, I no longer drink only black coffee. My friend Alex years ago stopped me from eating Splenda, which I actually hate the taste of it now. But you know what? I'm like, I put 2 sugars in my coffee. Why? Why can't I put 2 sugars in my coffee? Okay. Oh, it breaks your fast. You're intermittent faster. But you know what? I realized that I wasn't really enjoying the coffee to the max, right? So I said, okay, I'm going to start doing that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my supplements. I'm getting a little bit older, and I personally feel that my testosterone levels are a little weird, and I talked to my doctor about this, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a testosterone supplement. I'm not going to push it to the wayside because I want my workout to be great, and I want to feel my energy, right? The next thing I do is I make sure I get my workout in. My tennis is on my schedule every single day because if I want my day to end happy, that is my hour and a half of time to myself where I don't have to worry about work, and I come back and I feel completely rejuvenated. The other thing that I do is I connect with Scott. You know, he always hides around the Transformation Center somewhere we can never find him, but I make a point to go find him, even if it's for 5 minutes, and connect. And then last but not least, we start the day off with our kids, and we end the day with our kids, putting them to bed. And these are just the things that I know. They're kind of like points of contact that I do throughout the day that I know that even though this day is going to be hard, these things are going to help me stay balanced in my nutrition, in my mental health, in my family, in my relationships, in my job, and I think I said my fitness. And so what I want you to do is take a blank sheet of paper, and I want you to draw a circle on the paper just like it's a clock. And then in the very center of that circle, I want you to draw a little dot and just kind of draw your name. And then like you would look at a clock, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I want you to make 12 points of contact. And I want you to try to come up with 12 things that you want to do throughout the day to help yourself understand that while the day is going to be tough, I'm going to have to choose my heart. These are the 12 points of contact that I want to make so that when I go to bed, I feel like I'm successful and I feel accomplished. Because when it comes to choosing your heart, at the end of the day, Steve wanted to feel accomplished when he was doing his workout, right? When I was having that conversation with my family, we all wanted to feel accomplished, that we can somehow overcome our mental health struggles. And so I just want you to just, if you can't come up with 12, just do 12, 3, 6, and 9, right? Maybe it's 4 points of contact, but do that exercise, wake up, and it's kind of like a to-do list for your growth, for your personal growth every single day. Anyway, this is really fun for me. I'm so excited to hear. Hopefully you can either write me a message, go follow the Trust and Believe Pod on Instagram, and let us know how you did with this activity and this podcast. And at the end of the day, I just want to free you so that you can trust and believe in who you are. You can trust and believe in your journey. And hey, listen, there are a lot of really intelligent people out there that are giving you lots of information and education, and whether it's gut health, mental health, or just personal growth. But at the end of the day, this is just a bunch of information, and you have to grab it and take whatever's going to help you elevate yourself in your life. And I'll repeat, some people don't like to work out. Some people love to eat whatever they want. Find a balance, but stay happy and always trust and believe in who you are.